So I'm Jean Mosier, president of the Museum of the Berkeley Springs and co-chair of the Bicentennial Celebration, along with Stephanie Alabon, the county administrator. You'll be hearing from Stephanie in a moment. So let me start by welcoming all of you. Thank you for coming. And we really want to say a special thank you to our friends at Citizens National Bank. They are sponsoring this party. We thank them for the cake. And our special free souvenir, Daniel Morgan, 200 bill. The bank created these. Everybody should get to have a souvenir for being 200 years old. Mark Carroll, where are you? Would you like to, president of the bank? Thank you. Would you like to say anything?
Sure, thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here and excited to be up with all you folks up here and to have the opportunity. Thank you, Jeannie, and the other members of the group that put this together to allow CMB Bank to sponsor this. As I look around the room, I see a lot of friends, a lot of folks who have banked with us for a long time, and for that we appreciate. And it was just, if you allow me just to do one quick second of a special thank you. There's a young lady here, and I emphasize young, who is just celebrated her retirement from CMB Bank after 25 years. Wow. Debbie Moore. Yay! So for those of you who are used to seeing her smiling face at the tower line at our main office, you won't see her, but she's not leaving Morgan County. She's going to stay here and committed, and we're going to miss her. But thank you for the 25 wonderful years, Debbie, you gave us.
Thank you.
You know, we just celebrated our 85th year in Morgan County in June of last year. So we know a little something about celebrations, but at 85 years, we're barely out of elementary school compared to Morgan County. So we're just very appreciative to be part of this community. Thank you for everything you do to support us. And if I could just say one more thing, and it's a bit of a plug for small businesses, Small Business America. And please don't read this as a negative, but I've seen a few times a Facebook post that says Amazon won't sponsor your child's Little League. Think about that when you think about Shop Local. Shop Local, help your local folks here who put their heart and soul into small business Morgan County, the school system at Morgan County, the educators, to the municipality, to the leadership. They do phenomenal work, and we're just so pleased to be part of that fabric. And that's no shot against Amazon. Please don't interpret it that way. But they will not support Girl Scouts. They will not support your Little League. They will not support the band uniforms at the high school. That's not what they are. It's folks like you who support those things. And so think about that when you shop local. That's my shameless plug for all the shops that are right downtown and other places around Murray County. Again, thank you, Jeannie, for giving us this opportunity, and we're pleased to be part of it.
And thank you, CMB, for supporting all of these local businesses so that we get to keep going. Okay, today, 200 years ago today, legislators sat in Richmond, because then we were part of Virginia, and they voted to take a piece of Hampshire County and a piece of Berkeley County and create Morgan County. Now, one of the mysteries is why we chose Morgan County as our name. So I have several hypotheses. One is that I've heard and some that I've made up. One is that Robert Bailey, who was a major gambler and hotel owner here, who was very, he did a lot to have the petition to call for a county being established that his father fought under Daniel Morgan and died at Cowpens, South Carolina. That's one theory. The second theory, I think, is that Berkeley County was named for a British overlord, Hampshire County was named for a British county, and we decided we wanted to be American. So we chose a true American hero. The third reason is Daniel Morgan had terrible sciatica. And he had to drop out of the Revolutionary War at least twice because he was in such pain, and he came here to take the baths in Berkeley Springs for his sciatica. So that may be a reason. And then, of course, he was our member of Congress when we were part of Frederick County. He was elected in 1797 because he lived in Winchester. His story is that he ran away from home someplace in Pennsylvania or New Jersey when he was 15 years old, and he walked down the Great Wagon Road and ended up in Winchester and stayed there the rest of his life. His story is incredible. You'll get to be hearing more about it. I post these little tidbits about Danny Morgan, since I'm a Danny Morgan fangirl. You'll know more about him than you've ever imagined by the end of this year. So, do we want to do a birthday song? Do we want to show the birthday song? This is our birthday. And Angie Hott wrote a special birthday song for Morgan County with verses and chorus. And she got the county commissioners to sing it. And you're going to get to see it. Are we ready?
Might want to get your tissues out.
Or earplugs. All right. Yes, sing along because you'll know the chorus.
Maybe bear with me 1 second.
Okay. Oh. And Angie's working on a lot of videos with her kids through this entire process, because one of our missions is that we want the kids, we want everybody in Morgan County by the end of the year to know about Daniel Morgan, to know about all the major points in history in Morgan County. So this is like a year-long seminar. But you won't mind, because it's going to be fun. What?
Jeannie?
Yes.
This is like a premiere. You guys are seeing this for the very first time because in the Positive Action classrooms this week, kindergarten through 5th grade all get to see this song because we're talking about our intellectual wellness and using our creativity. And for our students, isn't it cool that we get to use creativity to celebrate history in Berkeley Springs?
Yes. And our slogan is strong roots, growing, perfect vision, because we're moving into the future together.
Okay, are we ready?
Ready?
Well,
Oh, it's muted? Muted, yeah.
It's okay.
bear with me.
It's muted on the projector.
Hold on, sorry. Just practice
You want to just go ahead and say it?
There we go.
There we go.
Mr. Rogers, right?
You guys know the song Happy Birthday, right? Well, I made up a new song because this year, 2020, is the bicentennial birthday celebration. Do you know what bicentennial is?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Were you curious? Yeah. 200. Bicentennial means 200. And this year is the bicentennial birthday of our county, Morgan County. Look at this. Isn't it a cool book? This is a book about the fella that our county's named after. Do you know who it is, Miss Shema? Our county is named after a man named Daniel Morgan. Oh, that makes sense with that really weird Morgan, Morgan County. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So this week, I have something to show you, Miss Shema. Shall we share it with our friends, our Morgan County scholars? All right. So Miss Shema and I had some friends, and we had at the Morgan County Courthouse where there happens to be a picture of Daniel Morgan, and we sang the new song that was Hot Road that I created from my brain. Yes. All right, let's watch it. Let's go.
Just the beginning. The birthday party just starts a year-long celebration. We're going to have a series of lectures, and you should make sure you get one of these rack cards because it's got the lecture dates on it and the topics. And we selected as our lectures economic sectors of the county through history that had a significant impact far beyond just providing jobs. So we're going to be talking about tomato growing and canning, which is the first lecture on March 21st. On innkeeping and hospitality, we have the book that Angie had in the film, the Daniel Morgan biography, which is wonderful and in our library. That author is coming to speak to us on May 16th. Steve French, who's here today, is going to be speaking on the Civil War and on the B&O Railroad. We're going to talk about sand mining, and then at the end we're going to do a Morgan County history timeline, which will gather all this together. And we're actually doing a museum exhibit on the timeline also. Through the year, we're going to be recording oral histories for folks who we need to get what they know while they still know it. But I think that the Digital Media Center is here today to talk to several of you right now about your memories of Morgan County, what you think, what about the birthday party. We're going to be doing a variety of events, and there's way room for more. Pawpaw's Memorial Day celebrations will be now the bicentennial Memorial Day celebrations. The DAR is doing an historic tea in the park in June, and those ladies are here in costume today, handing out invitations so that you can remember the date. The Master Gardeners are going to be doing bicentennial stuff at their plant fair. The quilters are making a bicentennial quilt. We developed, and the County Commission designated July 6th as Morgan County Day, because even though we have no idea when Daniel Morgan was born, we do know when he died, because he was famous by then. And when you're famous and you die, you get to have a lot of TV coverage. But anyway, July 6th, which is a Monday, is going to be Morgan County Day, and we'll be doing a picnic in the park, and we're going to do one of those great group photographs that we did at 175 years.
Yeah.
You'll be informed of the dates. Everybody should come who wants to be in the picture. The Apple Butter Festival parade theme is going to be the bicentennial. Hunter's Hardware is busily looking for the actual date they opened 150 years ago. Exactly. Once we find that out, they're going to do a big celebration. South Morgan Fire Company is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and this year will be our 30th annual Berkeley Springs International Water Tasting, and we'll have our Daniel Morgan cutout there so that people from Bosnia and Australia, every place in the world can know about Daniel Morgan. The library is buying a lot of West Virginia books. And Berkeley Springs Brewery is making a craft beer for the bicentennial. I don't know the name, but it'll be available. So it's the 200th anniversary also of the Roman bathhouse in the park, which should be open by March. So we'll be celebrating that. Morgan Messenger will be doing a lot of stuff through the year of all of our various stories. The Capon State Park Foundation on May 2nd is having a grand opening of their geology exhibit at the Nature Center, which of course covers Morgan County geology. And we have a Facebook page, Morgan County WB Bicentennial 2020, that we post up every day. So if you really want to keep up on things, if you want to know great things about Daniel Morgan, like the fact that he really liked socks, then you need to read the Facebook page. It'll also be on the Morgan County website, and any other groups who want to hook to the bicentennial page on the website. And you too can have an event. There are at least 300 days left that don't have events on. So if you have an idea, let me know, let Stephanie know, and we'll plug you in to our schedule. I wanted to introduce Daniel Morgan descendants, but I don't see, Mary Banks, are you here? Mary Banks Nichols? Mary Banks Nichols is a great granddaughter. Colleen Stotler is, are you here, Colleen? Oh, Colleen, stand up. Colleen is a niece. Ann Chambers here, newly moved to Morgan County, and she also is a descendant of Daniel Morgan. And if there are any other people, have them come and let us know. We want to honor them through the year. I want to thank a lot of people helping us do this. C&B Bank, you know, sponsored this party. The County Commission and the museum are doing this together and have been funders and out getting grants. Travel Berkeley Springs is doing all the marketing, printing, rack cards like this. The Two Rivers Giving Circle here in the Panhandle gave us funding to do the exhibit at the museum. The Chamber of Commerce has allowed us being me and Stephanie, has allowed us to add Lori Hansroff to our team, and she's been really wonderful. And we're going to do a ribbon cutting in a little bit. And let's see, FAST. The Foundation for Art, Science, and Technology is sponsoring our photo contest. And here's the deal, because we want to document everything. Every 2 months, starting in April, we're going to give an award for the best photograph and the best video under 2 minutes. People need to submit these to us on an ongoing basis. There'll be a $50 cash prize for both the photo and the video, and we'll plaster them everywhere. So put that down if you get a great picture, any place in Morgan County, featuring the county, any bicentennial event. That's what we want to do so that we end up at the end of the year with huge amounts of documentation of the county and of the year. So thank you, Bill Lands and Norberta Schoen, for letting FAST do this for us. Yes, I know, they're here. Yeah. Okay, now you know everything that's going to be happening that we know at this moment. Let me turn it over to Stephanie Alamon, and she'll talk about what's going to be happening here in the courthouse, and then introduce our county commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out to celebrate today with us, the start of a year-long celebration. This is a wonderful time, something that I will never see again in 100 years. But we want to send a legacy to our future generations so that they get to know about Morgan County and the history that lies behind it. For the courthouse, what we're going to do, Caperton Furniture is building us a display case, and we are going to take artifacts and things throughout the year when we have different lectures and different series that we're speaking about, and we're going to display them here in the courthouse lobby in our display case once it is built. We will also be having a TV in the lobby that will be running all of the lectures, and anything that we have that's on video will be playing on a loop so that when you come to the courthouse you can see what is happening throughout the county and what we've been celebrating. We are in the process of making bicentennial brass coins for sale. They're going to be a limited edition numbered coins. We have not gotten the proof back yet to see what they're going to look like, and we haven't decided whether we're going to have 100 or 200. Depends. So there will be, that's my thought too. That's what I'm thinking.
300.
So, 200 years, 200 coins. So they will be a limited edition, and we will be having them for sale once we get them back. We will be having some meetings here in the courthouse during commission meetings to explain what we've been doing throughout the year. celebrating and just having a brief overview of what is to come throughout the year as well, all year long. I'm just honored to be a part of this. This is big. Yes, this is the biggest part that I'm super excited about. You guys know about Where's Waldo, right? Okay, so this year we're going to do Where's Daniel Morgan? So we got 2 cutouts that you can rent from us for your business. And we would like to have clues trying to indicate where you might find Daniel Morgan this year. And when you do find him, we encourage many selfies and put them on our Facebook page and load those up. So we'll be trying to find Daniel Morgan all year. So it's super exciting. And if you would like to schedule your statue, contact me here at the courthouse. I'm keeping the schedule so that we can make sure that he has a place to go every week for the entire year. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce President Joel Tuttle here to speak on behalf of the County Commission. And again, thank you very much for coming out today, and we look forward to celebrating the entire year with you. So thank you.
I'm not really the president, I'm just the president of the County Commission. So. I really appreciate the big crowd we have out with us today. Obviously, it's not every day that we get to celebrate a bicentennial, that we get to have a 200th birthday party. Obviously, probably, maybe a couple of us. I saw a couple of babies in the audience. Maybe someone will be around for the 300th birthday party, but I really doubt that. They told me I needed to give a speech. My wife asked me, and I said, well, honey, I'm certainly not going to be around. I said, maybe I could possibly be around for 250. Quarter of a century, maybe. Anyway, they asked me to give a speech today. I wasn't sure what the definition of that was, what they wanted me to say, whether it was just a welcome or maybe give a little bit of history. So I put together just a few remarks. If you don't mind, I'll share those with you. We're so very blessed, of course, that Morgan County has such a rich history, a storied history. In doing a little bit of the research for this, I quickly realized that there was no way that I could give a historic overview. There's no way I could do it justice in such a short amount of time, and I didn't even want to attempt to do so. But we are so blessed and so grateful that we have so many historians who have devoted countless hours to doing just that. The late John Douglas, Albert Lewis Zambone, who wrote the book that Jeannie mentioned, Daniel Morgan, A Revolutionary Life. Jeannie Mosier herself, who has written many books, and also presented a lot of the history about George Washington and Morgan County. And then there's also going to be other local folks who are going to be doing historical lectures throughout the year. Those, as Jeannie mentioned before me, will be about tomato growing and canning, sand mining, tanneries, railroads, apples, hotels, and the Civil War. But I'll give a brief introduction into our history. As she mentioned as well, that's the only other bad thing about 1/3. You never know what the people in front of you are going to say.
They can hear it again.
Morgan County was created by an act of the Virginia General Assembly on February the 9th of 1820 from parts of Berkeley and Hampshire County. As I hope you all know by now, it was named for Daniel Morgan. He was a feisty Revolutionary War general who now boasts a loyal fan club. There are of course, some extraordinary stories about Daniel Morgan, about his toughness and his grit and his courage, and I know that you all will be hearing those throughout the rest of the year. Of course, we have 2 municipalities, Paw Paw, which is located on the westernmost edge of Morgan County, and it is known historically as a canal, railroad, orchard, and tannery boomtown. At one time, the population reached almost 1,000 people in Paw Paw, and the B&O Railroad stopped there 6 times a day at the depot. Still today, the people of Paw Paw are some of the kindest and the most sincere and the most resilient people that I've ever met. And of course, we have our county seat, Berkeley Springs, which, as you probably know, really started as the town of Bath in 1776, and it would probably still be named that if it weren't for the fact that there was already another town or area in Virginia known as Bath. So it became Berkeley Springs, of course named for the gentleman who Berkeley County was named after, and also the Warm Springs. Berkeley Springs has been referred to over the years as Medicine Springs, Warm Springs, Hot Springs, Healing Springs, and Frederick Springs, and I believe maybe Medicinal Springs. All these, of course, are references to our renowned warm springs that flow at a constant temperature of 74.3 degrees. We are entwined with so many historical icons, and this is where when I got into looking into some of our history, it was just more than you could present. Some of those, or just a few of those, are Lord Thomas Fairfax, George Washington, and James Rumsey, just to name a few. In fact, George Washington, along with 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence, 4 signers of the Constitution, 7 members of the Continental Congress, and 5 generals of the Revolutionary War, were among those who made initial purchases of property in the town of Bath. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention some of the other communities in Morgan County. Great Kecapin, Pleasant View, Greenwood, Cherry Run, Largent, New Hope, Jimstown, Sir John's, Magnolia, Sports Crossroads, Sleepy Creek, Unger, and there are many others. And many of those, the history of those revolve around families, agriculture, and some of the churches that are located there. And there's a rich history in each of those. How many counties can say that they have a castle that sits up on the hill? Samuel Taylor's Sweet Cottage, also known as Rose's Castle, also known to many of us as Berkeley Springs Castle, sits up there, and it's a wonderful, wonderful structure, and we're so glad to see it somewhat restored, I think, from what it was 20 years ago when I first got here. Kecapin State Park also has a lot of history. It was an original Civilian Conservation Corps park that was built in the 1930s, and if it is not already the best park in the state of West Virginia, I almost will guarantee you it will be in about 3 or 4 more months. So we're also proud of Kecapin State Park. Of course, Berkeley Springs State Park, which was the first state park in West Virginia, and it's also the smallest state park in West Virginia, still today. And, of course, we have our Apple Butter Festival, we have the Berkeley Springs International Water Tasting Festival, and we have so many other things that we do here in Morgan County on a yearly basis. And I couldn't be more proud to just be part of this. I do want to thank, of course, Jeannie. She's one of the folks that approached us some months ago and just reminded us of the opportunity that we all have to be able to share the stories and gather this information and make a celebration, a year-long celebration of an event that is certainly worthy of that. I want to say thanks to CMB, of course, for sponsoring the event today for our birthday party. I would like to thank Jeannie and Stephanie, and I guess now Lori, as members of our Bicentennial Committee. I'm not sure if we mentioned her, but I do want to thank Peyton Brown. She is the young lady who is a former Berkeley Springs high school graduate, who I believe is, I think she's still in college. She's an art major, but she's the one that produced our logo for the Berkeley Springs, or the Morgan County Bicentennial. So, and it's really, that girl does some of the nicest artwork, and is always willing and to help us and do things when we ask her to. But I invite all of you to celebrate with us. Of course, it's going to be a year-long celebration. We have so many things planned, more things than I had even realized. Jeannie puts more things on that list every time she tells the story. So if you have something, your community or your church or your family or your business has something that they would like to be a part of our celebration, we encourage you to bring those ideas to Jeannie, to Steph, to Lori, to any of us, and we would like to incorporate those in our year-long celebration. And again, we just thank you so much. This is such a great turnout. We knew we were probably going to be at capacity in the room, but I don't think we even figured there would be this many. So certainly want you all to enjoy yourselves. I have no idea who I'm supposed to turn this over to.
Oh, is Sean here?
In the house?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on up here.
Well, then I will say, on behalf of myself and Commissioner Reed and Commissioner Forney, we certainly want to thank you all for coming. Commissioner Forney, if you have any words you'd like to say to these fine folks?
Just mainly want to say thank you guys for coming, and honored to serve the great people of Morgan County, and excited to be a commissioner when we're celebrating our 200-year birthday. There's lots of amazing history in Morgan County, and I learn more and more every single time I take a walk with the kids or talk to Jeannie. Jeannie's like a walking history book of Morgan County. I'm just thankful to be here, thankful for the opportunity to serve everybody, and looking forward to having a nice long birthday. We're trying to think of different things to do with the theater and with any other businesses in Morgan County, anything to incorporate the logo in your letterhead or anything like that. We want to make this as big a deal as possible because it really, really is a big deal. It's very, very important. I have one of my 3 daughters here. My other one had to go to soccer practice, which is why I was late. But you know, this is something that we're only going to get to do one time, and it's very, very significant to be able to look back. You know, in 40 years, I was talking to my wife about it. I said, hey, you know, we're leaving our mark, you know, on the theater, and 40, 50 years from now, if I make it that long, just to be able to drive by and say, hey, we had a part in the history of the town of Bath and Morgan County as a whole. So I think, you know, we don't take this lightly. 200 years is an amazing, amazing feat, and we're just glad to be a part of it, and we hope everybody here will continue to do like we're striving to do and make it a big deal. So we appreciate it, and thank you guys for coming.
Just want to add one more thing. I mean, I think back over the last year or two of just some of the people that the county and the community have lost, just some of the people who were around for, you know, about 100 years. Mr. Havermail or Mr. Harmison, and there's plenty of others I know for sure. You know, Becky's father, I think he was in that range of age as well. But you lose those folks, and you lose the stories, and you lose the history. So I would encourage any of you who have somebody who has some history and has some stories to encourage them to write them down. Maybe video them. Everybody has a video now with their cell phones, but get those things so that we can, you know, assimilate them and have them forever, basically. Because sometimes I think when folks die, the stories die, and the stories don't get passed along. And you know, I know Tommy Swain, he's a former commissioner, he's sitting back there, he has hundreds of stories of things that have happened in Morgan County. There's so many others that do as well. But I'd encourage you all, now he writes them down, don't get me wrong, he writes everything down, but not everybody does. So if you could even take that small part and be a part of our celebration, we'd appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
I know this. Okay. She wasn't here when I introduced her, but I saw her come in, don't worry. What we'd like to do, one of the things we've started doing with the Chamber of Commerce, since Lori went and bought herself a pair of giant scissors, is ribbon cuttings. So we would like to have Joel and, did Sean leave? Okay. And Sean come up and we'll do a ribbon cutting on our 200th birthday, because this is the beginning of the next 100 years, is today. Have your birthday, that ends a year and starts a year. In this case, 200 years starts the next 200 years. While Lori's fooling with that, I introduced Mary Banks Nichols before, but she wasn't here yet. So, Mary, would you stand up? Mary is a great daughter of Daniel Morgan. And Mary has been a fixture in the town here for ever.
Thank you so much.
And we're so happy that you're here.
Well, thank you, Jeannie. It's a big pleasure, of course, for me. And I especially thank Jeannie. She's always been kind to me. And Joel, I've known Joel for a long time. Hi, Joel. Good to see you. Yes, I'm very happy to be here to celebrate with you.
Where's Joel's going to do the cutting? Joel?
Usually at home they don't trust me with something like that. They don't know me as well. Tell you what, I'll let Sean hear, I'm gonna go to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We say 3?
Yeah.
All right, let's wait for a picture. Okay.
Everybody ready? All right, let's do it.
I'll get your
1,
finger.
2, 3. Okay, so. Thank you. You never can say thanks enough. Let me thank again C&D, the County Commission, the museum, FAST, the Two Rivers Giving Circle, Travel Berkeley Springs, the Chamber, all of the people who are who have events already planned, who are going to plan events. Thank you to Peyton Brown. If you haven't seen the t-shirts, there are t-shirts with the actual bicentennial logo, not just our fangirls t-shirts, but you can buy one of those too. And I especially want to thank all Morgan Countyans, past, present, and future. This year, we're going to learn about our namesake, we're going to learn about our rich heritage, and we're going to make connections with all of our Morgan County family so we can move forward for the next 100, 200, 300 years. So now, go party
One more
like
thing,
it's 200.
one more thing.
Oh.
We would like to thank students through kindergarten through 5th grade for the birthday card that they made for Morgan County's 200th birthday. So they all wrote a song